So, have you guys ever heard of rock apes? I mean, forget Bigfoot. These hairy humanoids hail from the jungles of Thailand and Vietnam. Imagine a creature between 3 to 7 feet tall, covered in fur. Red, orange, brown, black. There's always a variation. They just look strong. Broad shoulders, muscular build, but the funny part is that they kind of have a pot belly. Now, unlike their shy American cousin, rock apes aren't afraid of humans. They've even been spotted hanging out with villagers and building fires, which makes them sound pretty intelligent, right? Well, if you don't believe me, things get wild after the Vietnam War. American soldiers come back with stories of encountering these creatures, and these aren't just peaceful hangouts. They claim to have full-blown firefights with rock-throwing rock apes. It got so intense, there was a whole mountainside nicknamed Monkey Mountain because of all of the sightings and all of the battles. Now, some people might scoff that these are trained soldiers we're talking about, and I get it, there really should be another explanation. But check out this soldier talking about his experience, notably a band of large primates throwing rocks at his platoon.
I had heard that there had been previous problems with what we called rock apes, and in fact, at one point, a band of them threw one Marine off the rock pile. And so we were wary of them, without a doubt. This animal was stockier, he was of darker color, a lot more muscular. This different creature would, early in the morning, burst out of the jungle into a clearing and just rail at us, just yell and scream and shake his fists, and it was very human behavior, and it was real obvious that he took exception to our presence there.
Another special clip here from Sonny Vader. Back on May 30th, a trucker near Rocky Mountain House, Alberta, northwest of the Sunchild First Nation Reservation, had a heart-stopping encounter. The man was picking up equipment at a rural industrial site when he spotted a giant beast. I mean, we're talking 11 to 13-ish feet tall, just standing there in the woods amongst the trees. The trucker didn't see it at first, but luckily his dash cam caught the creature on camera as he drove onto the site. According to him, he only realized it was there when he got out of his truck to load the equipment. Now, needless to say, he hightailed it out of there. Sonny says that to investigate further, remote cameras have been set up around the site. You can check his channel out, so stay tuned for updates. This could be a real-life monster sighting. Checking in, we've got some creepy sounds in the woods. This clip from Crypted University on Instagram shows a remote cabin nestled deep in the wilderness. But listen closely, you might hear something besides the usual crickets chirping. Those whoops, howls, and growls in the background? Yeah. Bigfoot believers say that's exactly what they are, Bigfoot vocalizations. I mean, these sounds are the stuff of legend, reported by people who claim to have encountered this hairy giant. They can be loud, deep, and sometimes even sound human-like. There are all sorts of Bigfoot calls on record. Howls and screams said to be long, loud, and eerie. Some folks even compare them to a human scream or a wolf howling. There are growls and grunts that are lower pitched, more animalistic sounds. Then we have whistles and clicks, high-pitched noises, some described as bird-like or even dolphin-like. Wood knocks, which I hear a lot where I live, are also a thing, like someone hitting a tree with a baseball bat. Some researchers think that Bigfoot uses them to communicate over long distances. So, what do you guys think? Do we have a video capturing Bigfoot serenading the Tennessee woods? Many skeptics say these sounds could be anything: wind, animals, people messing around. But like I mentioned in my own life, believers point to how often these reports happen across many places and cultures. Anyhow, listen to the clips again and let me know in the comments. Do we think this is Bigfoot or something else entirely? Okay, check this out. Let me tell you now, this is not something you want to have happen to you. Look, as these guys are just frolicking in this waterfall, and one of the guys starts to just lose his mind. He's frantic. And you'll see why in a second. Yes, that is a snake that has crawled up the leg of his pants. Now, I'm not sure how. I don't have any other information. Of course, this could be a hoax, but I mean, this thing looks like it's a pretty big boy. Now, I'll be honest, I don't want an earthworm in my pants, let alone a gigantic 6-foot snake that appears to have latched onto a part of my body I am not willing to lose. Ay, 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 man, get me out of there. Yeah, so this creepy story straight from Reddit user Haunted Luca will have you checking over your shoulder next time you're wandering through the woods. The footage, captured on a body camera somewhere in the Sunshine Coast hinterland of Australia, has viewers spooked. So the hiker takes a break near some rocks and spots an old tent. It looks to be crumpled up, and his curiosity is begging him for a closer look. Hold on a sec, that's not what we're looking at right now. As something catches our eyes and pulls our attention away from the tattered tent, check what really has everyone buzzing. Look closely at the bushes way back in the background. Some eagle-eyed viewers might catch a glimpse of a tall, dark figure moving slowly behind the trees. It blends in with the shadows, but a closer look, especially in the slow motion section, reveals more. The figure appears again a few seconds later, but like before, it's tough to say for sure without slowing things down. I mean, what is this? Is this a hoax? Is this just some type of trick? Or is there something more sinister lurking in Australia? I don't know. Maybe it's just a creepy shadow, but I'm not heading to the outback anytime soon, so. Yeah, so this next clip, this hiker's got to be careful. He decided to leave a snack on a trail in hopes he could lure something out. And if you look at the top right corner of the clip, something's lurking in the bushes. The uploader thinks it could be a Yowie, Australia's answer to Bigfoot. These legendary creatures are supposed to be tall and hairy, kinda like apes, but with huge feet. Most folks say they're shy and peaceful, while others say they can be aggressive. I'd say that most people agree on one thing: they smell pretty bad. There have been whispers of Yowies for ages. Stories from Aboriginal people go back to the 1800s. Even naturalists back then reported seeing these giant hairy guys. One dude said he saw one near Bateman's Bay that was like 5 feet tall, covered in black hair, had beady eyes, hunched shoulders, just pretty creepy. So are these hiker videos the real deal? Could Yowies actually be roaming the Australian outback still? Take a closer look at the footage and let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, maybe there's a perfectly normal explanation. I love how the cat jumps from the hot tub into the pool and then finally out. His owner's like, dude, what are you doing out here? What's going on? I'll say this, and like many of you know, it's not often you catch a cat losing its cool like this. They're usually so nimble and graceful. Anyhow, funny video. Now, while this is a pretty cute video, I would imagine that it's kind of scary too. It's one thing to see some cubs climbing on your fence, but when mama's there, you already know what time it is. Just do what this person did, get their phone out, and stay away, because mama is not having it. And this looks like it happened in a pretty suburban area. I know there's tons of wildlife in Colorado. I have some friends who post stuff all day long. Deer in the middle of the road in front of their house, standing in their driveway. Nevertheless, I hope this little family gets to where it's going. Have you heard about the rumors of a ghost girl haunting a road in Tolima, Colombia? Travelers, especially those on motorcycles, have been reporting weird experiences along this route. It's gotten so bad that locals are even asking authorities to escort them when they drive through. One witness claims to have photo proof. They saw a ghostly girl clinging to the back of a truck at night. The witness, who didn't believe in ghosts before, was freaked out and snapped pictures to show the truck driver how dangerous it was to have a child riding back there. But when they caught up to the truck, the driver was like, "Look, dude, there's no girl." And his face lost all color, because he's already familiar with these local ghost stories, and he is freaked out. Apparently, motorcyclists often feel a presence behind them, like someone sitting there. Folks in Colombia believe it's the restless spirit of a young girl. I mean, it's sad to think she can't find peace, for sure. And this isn't the only spooky tale from this region. There are even legends of gold pools guarded by the devil himself. But with all these stories floating around, no wonder people are both scared and curious about the ghost girl on this creepy Colombian road. What say you guys? Have you heard about this at all? A video on Reddit is raising eyebrows. User Drus Legend posted footage their friend believes captures La Llorona, the legendary weeping woman. The clip is dark and shaky, but a shadowy figure in a flowing white dress seems to drift beneath a dim streetlight. I'll say one thing for sure, it definitely sets the neighborhood dogs on edge. You can hear them barking like crazy in the background. Then, just as the hairs on your neck stand up, an eerie wail pierces the night air. Freaked out yet? So, could this be genuine evidence of La Llorona, searching for her lost children? Or is there a more logical explanation lurking out there? I'll let you watch and decide for yourself, but I would love to know what you think, because this lady seems to keep rearing her ugly head. Alright, has everyone seen this mind-blowing video on Unanswered Universe's Instagram? It seems to be a phone footage of a security camera recording. It shows a man literally vanishing into thin air. We see a car pass by and poof, he's gone. Viewers are understandably spooked. Could this be a cleverly edited video? Like, come on. Maybe a technical glitch with the camera itself? One commenter even threw out a wild theory, which I don't actually think is that wild, but that this is a glitch in the Matrix, aka the simulation. So what do we think? Did he genuinely disappear, defying the laws of physics, or is there a more rational explanation lurking somewhere? For what it's worth, I believe that we are in a simulation to some degree. There are too many weird things going on, but that's for another day. This is an adorable video right here. Look, don't worry, the duck did not get hurt, everyone's fine. But this puppy has grabbed this duck and is taking off while everyone chases. I mean, look at its little legs going. I got a prize, I got a prize. This video here was uploaded by a channel known as Sasquatch Mafia. It was sent in by a viewer who said he's pretty sure he had an encounter with a Bigfoot in the woods. I'm not going to play the original audio because the breathing is almost unbearable, but check this footage out. We can see as a big beast is kind of moving through the trees there, and once he slows it down, I mean, this thing is massive. I'm not sure what happens if there's some sort of attack here or if the creature rushes the man. Anyhow, I'm curious as to your thoughts. As for mine, I mean, I feel like this can only be a Bigfoot or just an absolute complete hoax. And honestly, I'm 50-50 at this point. Another original footage video clip taken here. Video from Alberta, Canada shows what we believe is a Sasquatch, with a slight variation in color. Check out the reddish brown fur on this guy as he moves through the trees. I mean, it has all of the characteristics of a Bigfoot. It's big, broad shoulders, obviously covered in hair, elusive. This clip is said to be one of the most convincing pieces of evidence we have on Bigfoot. What do you guys think about this? Has anyone run into a Bigfoot that has had a color like this? Have you ever seen a ghost deer? Well, this trail cam footage might just change your mind about these spirits. Look closely at this herd of deer. We can see as they one by one file through. This is a great capture, by the way. But do we see anything unusual behind the last one? Some folks believe that this is a ghost deer following the others. The video seems pretty clear, and while there's a little fog, it's definitely still something strange. Now, I'm not sure what could have happened. Maybe this was a deer lost at birth, or got hit by a car, or I don't know. But I will say the ghostly critter looks a little smaller than the rest. Maybe a fawn that passed away young and is still hanging out with his family? I don't know. The real question is why did it pick up all the other ones pretty normally and then this one is hazy? And on another note, all the other deer, they don't seem too bothered by their ghostly friend. I don't think we have enough proof really, but this footage really makes me wonder. Is this a ghost deer or maybe possibly a peaceful spirit just checking in on its loved ones? Buckle up, believers, because this video from Rocky Mountain Sasquatch is a must-watch. One of their viewers, John, snagged some footage of what could be a real-life Sasquatch. Like, if this isn't a Sasquatch, I need to know what it is. The epic hunt unfolds in the majestic Wasatch Front Mountains. John filmed this mysterious creature from a crazy distance, over 3 miles away, with the creature itself way up at 9,000 feet. And get this, it was navigating a steep snow-covered slope. I mean, we're talking almost 8 feet of snow. And it was handling these steps with total ease. To show you what he's dealing with, here's some footage of a regular guy, Matthew Anderson, trudging through just 18 inches of snow. Yeah, see the difference? This mystery creature is moving like it's on flat ground. We've sharpened the video to get a clearer look at its movements. Some eagle-eyed viewers even suggested searching for footprints or sending a drone up for a closer inspection. That's a good idea. One helicopter pilot who's a fan of Rocky Mountain Sasquatch flew over the area after seeing the video. Talk about dedication. Now, RMS is not saying that this is definitively a Bigfoot. They're not sure. But the way it moves across that snow and the long strides it takes, I mean, it does resemble a classic Bigfoot. So what do you think? Could this be the legendary Sasquatch? Drop a comment below with your theories. Uh-oh, in this next clip it looks like someone got a little too curious for their own good. Here we see a person investigating a weird noise outside their home. At night. Not exactly the best idea, but if it makes for some spooky footage, I'm all about it. We see the person following the sound, but whatever it is stays hidden. Listen closely though. That growl turning into a shriek. So, is this some kind of monster? A commenter said after listening again that scream sounds awfully similar to a grumpy bobcat. Bobcats might be small, but they're known to have a bad temper and some seriously sharp claws. So I'm not sure if it's a cryptid or a bobcat, but I think it's probably best this guy just goes back inside. If anything, just look out your window and admire from a distance. Not something I've featured on this channel before, but have you ever seen anything like this? It looks like this footage is showing a religious statue somehow lodged in the middle of a tree. The person who filmed it says it was way off his trails and they were too freaked out to get closer. Looking at it, you gotta wonder, how in the heck did it get there? Who put it there? Is this some kind of weird prank? But also, why put it in the middle of nowhere? Or maybe it's not a statue at all. Maybe it's something more supernatural. Whatever it is, this spooky thing is definitely a head scratcher. I don't have all the answers, but I'd like them. You won't believe what security guards catch on camera sometimes, especially during those long, lonely night shifts. This video shows a guard seriously creeped out after finding out about a new employee, who wasn't new at all. He swears he interacted with this person, but when they reviewed the security footage, things got weird. There was no new employee. And apparently this isn't an isolated incident. Check out this next clip. Another security guard caught on camera by a coworker seems to be having a full-blown conversation in an empty hallway. When asked who he was talking to, the guard said it was a woman named Miss Abigail, and she was asking about a Mr. Griffin. But here's the twist. The coworker knows Miss Abigail, and Miss Abigail passed away 2 years ago. So, who was the guard chatting with? There's no one there. But he also doesn't know Miss Abigail like his coworker does. I don't know. This one is especially creepy. This TikTok explorer went from spooky adventure to full-blown nightmare. He ventured into an abandoned nursing home for a thrill and some content. Yeah, well, he got both. And what he caught is seriously creepy. In the dark hallway, he swears he saw a figure walking. It looked human-shaped, enough to freak him right out. I mean, he hightailed it out of there. Back home, he pulled the footage out and cranked up the brightness on the clip. And that's when things got weird. There it was, clear as day in the adjusted footage, the figure he saw. Needless to say, he wasn't going back alone. This time he grabbed a friend and headed back to the nursing home, camera rolling. They were both on edge as they approached the same hallway. And guess what? They saw another dark figure walk into a room just like before. All of a sudden, when they decide to leave, a blood-curdling scream pierces the night.
I swear I saw something down there. Zoom in a little bit more.
I'm trying to.
Right there, right there, right there. See it?
Remember?
What the? Oh, what the? I saw that. That was actually a person. Bro, I'm not joking. Let's get out of here. Come on.
Hold on. Come on.
No, dude, that's actually...
Oh, yeah, now you're scared that there's...
That's actually a person. Heal him down, I'm not fucking playing.
I can't hear anything, dude.
You're an idiot.
You're fucking crazy.
No, I'm not. Guaranteed 100%, but walks past again, it's a real person. It is, I'll tell you, I did. Whatever it is, that's...
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Alright, let's go.
Alright.
I know I saw something, and I know I'm not fucking crazy,
A sound so inhuman it sent shivers down their spines. The video cuts right there, leaving us hanging. But I want answers. What caused that scream? Was it from that figure they saw, or was that figure just maybe like a homeless person trying to find a place to stay? Nevertheless, I believe this guy has gotten more than he bargained for. Full disclosure, this is the first time I've seen anything like this, but apparently red mercury is all over the internet these days. Thanks to a viral video, everyone's buzzing about this mysterious red liquid with some seriously strange powers. Now, supposedly it vanishes in mirrors, repels garlic, and has a magnetic pull towards gold. But is there any truth to the hype? Now, experts say red mercury is most likely a hoax. And apparently on the dark web there have been rumors that red mercury is a key ingredient for nuclear weapons, playing on the secrecy surrounding these arms. But on the flip side, every single sample of red mercury ever tested has been a total dud. So what in the world is up with this stuff? I mean, the videos are pretty convincing. But here's the weird part. The red mercury story keeps changing. When it first popped up on the black market around 15-20 years ago, it was supposedly red because it came from Russia. Then last year it showed up in Africa, but it was still red. I don't know. Just was kind of a crazy video I found. Not sure if you guys know anything about it, but if you do, let me know. This is a pretty crazy clip here as a boar just smashes through this gate. I mean, he goes right through it. This thing doesn't stand a chance. It doesn't even really slow him down. And watch as he gives us the most graceful little leap into the garden. Twinkle toes. If you watch, you can see the boar must have been coming off that hill and crossed the road, freaked out, and said, I gotta smash through this gate. And I'll be danged if he didn't. That'd be something if you were standing there in your little courtyard and a boar smashes through the front of your gate, coming at you full steam. While on a serene kayaking trip on a river in Texas, a man had no inkling of what lay ahead. Initially, he is seen calmly paddling down the river when something unexpected occurs. Despite the initial shock, he chooses to press on with this adventure. However, he soon regrets this decision. Unfortunately, the recording stops at this point, and we are hoping that he quickly paddled away from this area altogether and didn't press his luck. I cannot imagine being on a paddleboard with croc-infested waters. As you can see, a woman on a Southern California hiking trail has found herself in quite the predicament. A massive brown bear is directly in the path, and man, that is a small trail, with some gorgeous views I might add. You can actually hear as she roars back at the bear, trying to deter it. Unfortunately, like we've discussed many times, this bear does have cubs with it, so she's probably not going to back down. Personally, I'll say this, as soon as I got around that corner at the beginning of the video, I would take off. I would put as much distance between myself and that bear as I could. I know you're not supposed to run, but the bear doesn't know you're running if it can't see you. Now, one of the craziest parts about all this is that this person was actually running on this trail, and when she turned the corner, she's quoted as to saying that the bear was 5 inches from her waist. She was immediately startled and doubled back, and that's when she took out her phone. There were two paths, so eventually the runner and another person were able to get away while the bear continued down the other path with her cubs. This is such a heartwarming video, and I just cannot imagine the fear that these two girls felt. Check this out.
You guys okay? Or are you in trouble? Okay, stand by. We're getting you. Good. Take this camera. You're fine. We're gonna get you.
We're gonna get you. Don't worry. Just keep coming. We got a ladder and everything. You're fine. Be calm. Come. There's a ladder right there. Calm down. Climb up.
Oh,
Come on in.
easy.
Go in there. It's warm. Go inside. It's warm. Go inside. It's warm. Oh, we got you. Thank God we saw you. Oh my God, that's freezing.
Wow, I mean, that video gave me chills. I cannot imagine how those girls must have felt out there. Just helpless, vulnerable, and if you heard the one guy said it's cold, so. And then if you're the dad of one of those girls, oh my gosh, how grateful are you for these guys? And I love all the comments that are saying like, this is the most daddest thing ever. And the one dad's like, all right, let's get it done. Let's get you guys out of there. And I know everyone involved is thanking God and that those gentlemen were there at the right time. This next clip is pretty cool. A story about an unsuspecting couple just enjoying a fun moment together, capturing their happiness with a couple of selfies. They're just smitten, as you can see. Everything was going smoothly until their little photo session took a bizarre turn. Suddenly, and literally out of nowhere, the man seemed to be forcefully yanked down to the ground. I mean, he disappears from the camera's view. If you look closely, you'll notice a chilling detail just over the man's left shoulder. A ghostly hand appears out of nowhere and it pulls him down, causing him to lose his balance. Rewind a few seconds because it was hard to spot for me at first. But also be prepared because as he falls, the camera captures something even more unsettling. A girl with long jet black hair, vacant, lifeless eyes. I mean, what is going on here? Commenters are asking if this is some type of well-orchestrated prank, if this is some creepy entity. The people in the photo said they don't recognize the person. But on the flip side, that's what a bunch of hoaxers would say, so I don't know. It's either one of those two things. It's either a demon coming to suck the soul out of your body, or it is just a prank. This is just a funny little clip that I thought was going in a different direction. Check it out.
This girl wanted to film what her view looked like every morning on their vacation, but she never expected this would happen.
As soon as I saw what I thought was an open air balcony, I thought, wow, the views here are awesome. I can't wait to see what she sees. I thought maybe a hawk was going to swoop down or a pterodactyl. Nope, just an embarrassing moment. A video from Sweden has recently gone viral on Reddit, shared by a user named Immerse. The footage offers a first-person view of what starts as an ordinary evening walk but quickly turns mysterious and unsettling. In the video, Nimrose is walking through a forest at night on her way to the nearest bus stop next to her apartment. Despite the forest being close to kind of a neighborhood area and she has a clear walking path, the darkness definitely creates an eerie atmosphere. It's not very well lit. She mentioned that she's familiar with this walk and she walks it frequently, and so does everyone else. But she said as soon as she touched the path, something felt different that night. It's a pretty benign area that never really comes into question, but she said that there was just an unsettling feeling and she could not shake it. This sense of unease prompted her to whip out her phone and just record what was going on. Perhaps for reassurance or just to share her experience, I don't know. Document her potential death. Initially, everything seems normal. She continues down the path with only the sounds of the night around her. However, a few seconds later, that is all disrupted when something unusual happens. Someone or something appears to peek out from behind a tree in front of her. Unaware of this at the time, she didn't even react. But later, viewers of the video noticed the strange figure. This sparked debates as to whether she just uploaded this for attention, if that could have been an animal picking its head out. Some have suggested it's a cryptid. I don't know. What does it look like to you guys? I've seen this video before, but in homage to the season 2 of The House of the Dragon, I figured I would put it in this video because dragons are awesome. This video was captured in China and it has sparked a lot of interest. It really did grab the attention of both those who believe in mythical creatures like dragons and those who don't. In this clip, a hiker has managed to film what at first glance appears to be a gigantic bird hovering in the sky, or so they all think. But when you take a closer look and zoom in, its characteristics seem quite out of the ordinary. The creature boasts massive wings, a long tail, and moves with a speed that's unexpected for how big it is. Considering its massive size, you have to wonder, how in the world is this thing gliding through the air with grace? And that is where most commenters have raised their eyebrows, saying that we could possibly be looking at footage of a real-life dragon. Alright, the dragon video. First, full disclosure, I put that video in there just so I could really talk about Game of Thrones. Yeah. So, I won't give any spoilers or anything, but let me just give you a little backstory. I don't like stuff like that. I watched Game of Thrones and The House of the Dragon, of course, afterwards, but I watched that later than everyone else. So maybe like 5 or 6 years. I watched it a few years ago, but I wasn't into it. I'm not into it. I don't like that time period. I don't like the way they talk. I like all that now. But it was painful for me to even start it at the beginning. And I can't even tell you how obsessed I got with it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. If you haven't seen it, you're nuts. From I was probably the biggest hater to, I'm not going to say one of the biggest fans because I'm sure they dress up and go to like whatever, those Comic-Con things, but I don't do that, but I love the show. So anyway, and The House of the Dragon is good too. Turn that on. Yeah, get your dragon on, get your Targaryen on, like you're not going to be disappointed. Man, this next clip is going to get your heart pumping. We see this guy is on the boat in the ocean. The person holding the camera pans around. We get to see the scenery, gives us a feeling of that they're kind of really in the middle of nowhere, and it looks cold and there's water and ice everywhere. It starts to get interesting. The camera swings back to the man, and in the background we see a massive wave appear, and the wave is gigantic. Yeah, now just to get this out of the way, some people are saying that this is a sea monster that created this. I don't think so. Come on. I don't think that's the story here. The story is that this gigantic wave is actually present and right behind this guy. Anyhow, it seems crazy, and I've seen when pieces of iceberg have broken off from the larger piece and it's created big waves, but nothing this big. Also, someone in the comments said that the iceberg could have shifted, which to me, that's different than a piece of it breaking off, but unbelievable that it can create that big of a wave. However, the camera cuts off, which is unfortunate for us, but hopefully it's fortunate for them and they were able to get the heck out of Dodge. This TikTok video starts off quite innocently. It features a homeowner approaching her fence that is loaded with Halloween skulls. We can see that 4 of these heads are facing the same direction. However, one skull stands out. It's facing the opposite way as if it's looking back at something. The homeowner doesn't think anything of it at all. I mean, if anything, she thought maybe some kids were just spun them around. She just readjusts the skull to match the others and goes on about her day. And this goes on for a couple days, a week or two, whatever. As she turns away, the skull she just fixed suddenly shifts and is looking right at the camera. Obviously, this is captured on video, and it has left viewers definitely stumped. Some have said that the most logical explanation is that a gust of wind could have moved the skull. No, that's not logical. I mean, none of the other skulls moved. We just got a little gust of wind whipping through there and spinning a skull? Yeah, I don't think so. Anyhow, I'm open for ideas. I think it would be funny if one of her kids had some fishing line tied to it and would spin it while she was right next to it. But not knowing the answer does make me kind of wonder. So there's a video that's been making the rounds on Reddit. It's pretty wild. The footage comes from a security camera located at Jacksonville Beach Pier in Florida. Now, when you watch this video, pay close attention to the top left corner of the screen. You're going to see this really bright light that's not just sitting there, it's kind of pulsating and hovering in midair. Well, eventually, the lights start to move. It flies just a few inches above the water's surface and then, poof, it's gone. Completely disappears from the camera's view. And yeah, this hasn't been covered much, but a guy named Matt, who was the first to spot this mysterious object, stumbled upon it while going through some CCTV footage. Some theories are thinking that this could just be a drone or maybe some weird glitch with the camera. Maybe the camera's compression rate messed things up and made the object look kind of funky. Definitely a possibility. But it's also got people talking and wondering about other things. And I'm sure you know what they are. Anyhow, what's your take on this? What do we think is really happening here? Pretty cool video. While fishing for tarpon at a golf course in the Florida Keys, a man experienced the shock of his life when he least expected it. At first, everything seems fine as the fisherman goes about his business undisturbed. Suddenly, he whips the camera to his right, and hidden in the grass just a few feet away is a massive alligator that looks to be sizing him up. After his adrenaline comes down and he catches his breath, he cautiously returns to show all the viewers that the predator has left. Well, he's at least at a safe distance. Counting his lucky stars, the fisherman wisely decides to leave the area, and decides in fact that this area is not big enough for the both of them. He'll go fish somewhere else. In May of 2021 near Tokyo, Japan, a fascinating video was recorded. It captures the skies above this charming town on a somewhat cloudy day with plenty of light. Initially, everything appears normal. Then, the camera zooms in, revealing why the person decided to record the sky in the first place. An unusual flying object is hovering among the distant clouds. But yeah, unfortunately it's too far to make out clearly, but it appears oval-shaped in like a dark gray or silver, black even. It doesn't really take much investigating to reveal that it doesn't resemble any known aircraft. Certainly no civilian planes look like this. If I'm being honest, my opinion, the object strongly resembles the classic image of a flying saucer, a UFO. And the fact that it remains eerily still in the air for quite some time, I mean, Now, I'm sure this peculiar sighting could have a logical explanation. To some people. Yeah, to the military, this could be a secret military aircraft that we're all unaware of. That's logical to them. I'm leaning towards this being a more real encounter with an extraterrestrial presence. I don't know. Rewatch the footage, decide for yourself, and let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what you think. Now, this video recently made its way onto Instagram, sparking a lot of opinions along the way. We see this odd pattern in the sky, kind of resembles a shockwave or even a sonic boom. But let me give you some context. Back in August of 2017, SpaceX had a successful launch of their Falcon 9 rocket. Everything looked perfect, it seemed like just another textbook launch, and everything was going according to plan. However, recent information has come to light revealing that this launch actually tore a temporary hole in a part of Earth's atmosphere called the ionosphere. The ionosphere is the layer of our atmosphere where the sun's energy and radiation do some pretty cool stuff. Anyhow, it's important because the ionosphere helps radio waves bounce around, which makes long-distance radio communication possible. Now, without boring you with more details, basically, rockets move in a curving path. However, the SpaceX launch was different. One, it was more vertical, and two, it had a very light payload. It actually tore a hole in the layer about 559 miles wide. Well, anyhow, it created these crazy looking sonic boom waves, and it had everyone freaked out. So let me know if you saw these, if you even believe what our government is saying about it, or the experts. Anyhow, I think it looks pretty cool, but I would definitely be a little worried if I saw that and I was out on my deck. Now, I have seen this popular YouTube video through the years, but this was actually a clear version, so I decided to put it in this one, and it has left a lot of people puzzled. I mean, there are thousands of comments. People are saying video editing, paranormal, yada yada. But basically, the setting is a river nestled in Scotland's landscape. But here's some context. A woman who is hoping to capture footage of an otter that's often seen in the area has set up her camera and is just waiting. Initially, everything seems fine. The calm waters and surroundings give no hint of what is lurking in the woods. As time goes on, yeah, there's no otter. But something unusual begins to form on the left side of our screen. At first, it appears kind of like a vague shadow, a mist, maybe even an animal. But gradually, it becomes more distinct. And this shape doesn't stay still. It slowly moves toward the left side of the frame, becoming clearer with each passing second, making it hard just to miss this as a simple trick. Like I said, the video has unsurprisingly gone viral. Millions of views, widespread debate. We've got the skeptics on one side arguing that this is easy for modern technology to do. Paranormal enthusiasts believe that the footage shows something genuinely unexplainable, a glimpse into the unknown, if you may. I tend to lean to the more paranormal side, but again, I don't know the girl filming this, so it's really hard to say, but I'm glad I got to finally see a clear version of it.